Welcome to you, my name's Dale and this is Dale's Addiction. Today I'm filming a tag video. Thanks to Andrew for tagging me. This tag was originally started by Bold and Graceful and it is the 10 questions I ask myself before I buy luxury. I've got a little spoiler alert here. I don't ask myself 10 questions before I buy luxury. So I'm going to tell you the couple of questions that I ask myself before I buy and then the questions I ask myself once I have purchased the bag or luxury item, whatever it may be. So when I buy luxury at the moment, I consider luxury my handbags, my small leather goods. I don't consider jewellery luxury because I don't buy jewellery for fashion. I buy fine jewellery, clothing, shoes, and any other accessories like scarves, sunglasses, yeah, those sorts of things. Maybe coats might fall into that category, but you know, I live in the subtropics, so coats aren't exactly a thing. It's 18 degrees Celsius at the moment, and yeah, I'm wearing a cotton sweater, so you know, we're a little bit soft here. Anyhow, the questions that I ask myself. Number 1, do I love it? And if I'm asking myself that question, it's probably just because I feel a little indulgent in buying it. So what I mean by that is, is this just a passing, I love it? And for me, that is probably the situation I find myself in most because I'm a seasonal bag buyer. Primarily, I'm not a big fan of buying classic bags because I just see them everywhere and they're not for me. And so for me, I get that whole buzz from seeing new collections released. And I probably know that I love it, but I'm just, I'm just checking in with myself. I'm just having a little mindful moment. So first question, do I love it? The second question, can I afford it today? And again, if the answer to that question, if I'm asking the answer to that question, then possibly I shouldn't be buying it. But in any case, it's probably just another mindful moment to say, you know what? Oh, maybe you've been a little bit flamboyant lately and you probably need to really consider whether or not this is something that you should be buying right now. But when it's a seasonal piece, you kind of don't have that time. So you have to think pretty quickly. And again, I wouldn't be out shopping if the answer to that question was no. So do I love it? Can I afford it? They're the 2 questions that without a doubt I would ask myself before making any luxury purchases. Now, there's a third question that comes into play, which is what need or gap does this fulfill in my wardrobe? I don't like calling my group of handbags a handbag collection because a collection implies that you are mindfully collecting pieces from different years, different colors, different styles. I don't do that. There's nothing mindful about the bags that I have. I buy them because I love them. I don't even know what bag I'm going to buy next because we'll just see what's released in the new collections. So it's more about a need or a gap. And what I think about there is it a color that I don't have? Is it a style I don't have? Does it perform some kind of function that I don't have already? Because I just want to be able to reach for the bag. There are bags that I have that don't really perform or don't really fit any of those particular gaps or needs in my wardrobe. Case in point, the Petite Boy Chapeau. Yeah, I didn't buy that, so I didn't have to ask those questions, but functional? No. Color? I have monogram. Style? Yeah, maybe. But, if you're trying to justify to yourself a basis on which to buy that bag, I think you'd struggle. Hence why I don't ask these sorts of questions. So, following on from that question, once I've got it at home, if it is not filling a gap or it isn't a unique need or function or color in my wardrobe, then what is it duplicating? And what I like to do is just keep an eye on how often I reach for the bag that it's duplicating versus the new bag, and I just keep an eye on that. And if I feel like I can justify keeping both, I will. And if you have seen the video of my Fendi Mini Peekaboo and my Lady Dior bag comparison, I'll link it above, you'll see I went through that process there. Both small black top handle bags, and I thought, it really caused me to have a think about whether or not I need to keep the My Lady Dior in my collection. The good news story is I have decided to keep that bag in my collection because it is a different bag and it performs a different function, and I love it and I can afford to keep it, so I'm going to do that. If it's not a duplicate, then fantastic. I will just find somewhere to store it and pull it out when I need to. Now, I know this isn't the kind of response that everyone's looking for from this tag, and I appreciate that, but I also think it's worthwhile having a different perspective on this tag, because that's what tags are for, to collect a range of perspectives. There is no way that I would be buying luxury items if I was in a position where there were other things that were a higher priority. It just wouldn't be happening. They're not things I need. They're not things that serve any function that a non-luxury item couldn't serve. It just so happens to be that I have a very vested interest in handbags, and I just love hunting for things and seeing new collections. I love the thrill of trying to find those hard to find pieces. And I love the idea that as fashion evolves and my style evolves, that I get to create this kind of eclectic mix of pieces that are indelibly me and my style. So I think if you were in a position where you probably have to ask yourself a lot of questions before you are buying luxury pieces, then you should take a look at some of the other videos that people are creating in this tag for sure, because I'm sure there'll be some great tips and tricks there. Another thing, also check out my friend Amelia Rose's new channel, where it's Amelia Talks Finance. I'll link it below. But she is kind of traveling back in time from when she started her luxury collection, and her and I started at about the same time, so in our early 30s, and the way that she was able to save money and plan for purchases in those days when you've got a lot of competing commitments, you're getting established in your work, you might be buying a home, you might be raising a family, and luxury just isn't a priority. How do you still find a way to invest in these sorts of things that, might be your interest, your passion, your hobby, and not have guilt associated with them and not get yourself into a lot of debt as a result? So highly recommend checking out her new channel. But anyway, I'm interested to know, what questions do you ask yourself before you invest in luxury? I think it's really important to be mindful in terms of what we buy, but I'm certainly not looking for ways to justify what I purchase, because the minute I start doing that, the minute you have to wonder, what am I trying to prove to myself? If you have liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I put out videos on Wednesdays and Sundays. Usually I've been a little bit slow the last week or so, but my actual job has been calling, so my apologies to you for that. I will see you in my next one. Bye.